on this really nice bus with Adrian, the lead singer from Otherwise.
Hi, Mercedes.
Hey, Adrian. So last time I saw you, you were on the Corn Tour in December.
Yeah.
What have you been up to since then?
Let's see. Since December, we jumped to the studio with a very talented and he's actually a legendary producer. But he's kind of one of those, I guess you could say, dark horse kind of sleeper guys where you know his albums, but you don't know his name. A guy named David Bottrell.
Yeah.
And he discovered Tool. He did the first 3 Tool albums. He did the first or second Muse album, I want to say. He did the latest Stone Sour album.
Wow.
I mean, he did Godsmack's biggest album prior to this latest release. He did Stain's biggest, I think it's called 5, which is like I think is one of their highest selling albums. Huge hits off that. But most importantly to me, and most impressive to me, is he worked with Peter Gabriel for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so we did Peace at All Costs with David Bottrell, and this guy, he came to our house that we grew up in for pre-production, and like, he's worked with all these amazing vocalists, and I'm like, no pressure on me, I'm sitting there like, so, I've never been nervous going to a studio before, and I was, with this guy's resume, and he's super talented, and it just turned out to be a lot of fun, and he's one of our friends now, so I can't wait for you guys to hear the new album. Peace at All Costs comes out in like less than a week, I think.
Yeah, and I'm excited to, be able to get a copy. As you know, I love you guys and your music.
Yeah.
So what do you think will be a fan favorite track? And most importantly, what is your favorite track from the album?
A fan favorite? That's always hard to kind of predict, because a lot of times in the history of rock and roll, bands have hated songs that ended up being their biggest hits, so I guess, we kind of ran into the same issue that we did in a sense on True Love Never Dies, where our management, our label, our lawyer, our radio team, they're all based, they're like, every song could be a single, and so we don't know, it's hard to pick, so I guess that's a good problem, but I mean, if I had to pick a favorite track, I love them all, they're all really good, but our what's it called? Our instant gratification track that we released on iTunes right after the first single was released is a song called "The Other Side of Truth," and I wouldn't say it's my favorite song on the album because I like all of them, but that song to me it's got a cool vibe to it because it's basically like a violent love song, and
that's interesting.
Yeah, and most of my favorite movies are like extremely violent and extremely romantic at the same time, so like Braveheart and True Romance and those Romeo and Juliet, that kind of stuff, and it's a great workout song. I love to work out. I'm partial to that one right now. You never know, it could change. Next week you could ask me the same question, I'll have a different answer.
Yeah, it just depends, and I'm sure that song with how it connects to your movie Love it means a lot to you a little bit in that aspect.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here's a fun question that I like to ask some bands. If you could build the perfect tour, what bands would you add on to it?
That's a great question. If we could be on like a festival style tour, right? Mm-hmm. I would love for Otherwise to be the first on the bill, opening, and in no particular order, mm-hmm. but I would have to say Rage Against the Machine, Faith No More, Incubus, Foo Fighters, and U2.
Oh my God.
So if we could have, it would be a 7-man bill,
mm-hmm.
And maybe like throw in like an acoustic set by Third Eye Blind somewhere in there, a little mini set. That would be the perfect festival tour for us to be on, and for me personally.
Well, I gotta tell you, if you ever build that tour, I'll be the first one to buy a ticket.
Andy, who would you like to tour with? If you could put your ultimate tour.
I already decided.
Ooh, what?
Us and the Foo Fighters.
You just said Foo Fighters. Yeah, you see that?
You guys have like minds over there.
That's why he's my guitar player.
Oh, well, there you go. But like I said, I would be the first one to buy a ticket to that tour because that sounds amazing.
Well, if we can come, if you know anybody who happens to have $50 billion lying around extra somewhere, we'll put that together for you.
Well, if somebody grows a money tree, maybe I'll just go grab the money off of there and be like, hey.
There are things, money trees. It's called marijuana. You grow it, and then you sell it. You make money. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It's legal here in Arizona now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not kidding. Never mind.
All right. So before we, end this interview, here's one of the last questions. When you're setting your goals for Otherwise, what is the ultimate goal that you want?
Ooh, ultimate goal. That's a heavy question. I don't know. I guess it's a combination of a lot of things. We obviously want to bring happiness and bring peace to people who need it in the world with our music. We have this. My brother just started this new company called Life by Music, and one of its mission statements is to bring music to kids and keep music in school. And it's a clothing line, and we got plans to turn it into a record label and really give artists and music a real chance. And again, I guess if there was an ultimate goal, I would say buying our mom a new house would be our ultimate goal.
That's a great goal. All right. Well, thank you so much for this interview. It was amazing to see you again.
Yeah.
Don't forget to get their album, Peace at All Costs. It's coming out in less than a week. It'll be brutal like their last album. Coming up next, Otherwise.